Today, I do be playing Bad End Theater. There's a content warning up here for, these things. Blood and gore, and violence, and strong language. Um, so if those things are upsetting to you, don't watch out for yourself. Take care of yourself. Don't, don't put yourself in a situation you don't want to be in. I'm gonna go ahead and start because, heck. Welcome to Bad End Theater. On this stage, we shall be toying with fate. Also, this game has a lot of reading, so... and I read really fast, so I'm going to apologize. I'm gonna fuck it up a lot. So yeah, apologies for that. You will make many choices, unlocking darker and darker paths, all in order to witness a lovely variety of tragic events. But first, allow me to explain how it works. To begin the tutorial, select whichever doll you like. I want him. You control the demon doll. You're a fierce-looking guy just minding your own business. How will you interact with the human doll? You try to make friends with the human doll, but it kills you in cold blood. How ruthless. Holy shit. You find your very first bad ending, but don't worry, the story need not end here. Let's reset the stage and try again. This time, try controlling the other doll. You control the human doll. You're a friendly little guy just minding your own business. How will you interact with the demon doll? Play nice. You and the demon doll are able to set aside your differences and become friends. Why, this isn't a bad ending at all. I should have written out this possibility. It's just not suited to my theater whatsoever. Now that you know how the story goes, you can set the doll's behavior in advance. Oh! That's interesting. Okay, so... okay. I didn't know that. As you just saw, these behaviors will automatically be set to what you chose during your last playthrough. But now you can turn each one on or off without having to replay from that doll's perspective. Yes, my theater actually doubles as a puzzle game. That's horrible. I'm bad at puzzles. Now try turning the doll's behaviors on and off to see the different outcomes. What does this mean? Control the demon doll. You're a fierce-looking guy just minding your own business. How will you interact? You both attack each other at once and die together. That's sad. End tutorial. I'm done. You understand how to play. Yeah, I get it. This game saves your progress automatically, so just relax and collect all the bad endings at your own pace. Now without further ado, let's start the show. I don't know if I want to. Let's go with the hero just because that's the basic. You are the hero. You like to think of yourself as a pretty reliable and swell guy. Your life has been rather ordinary, aside from the occasional heroic adventures fighting evil monsters and whatnot. You are told a maiden from your village has been kidnapped and is likely being held captive at the nearby demon overlord's castle. Who even puts a village right next to where an entire demon army hangs out? You don't get it. You're happy to protect the townspeople though. You were born to play this role. Ew. You head off on your adventure to rescue the maiden. But demon soldiers block your path. You could kill them to gain experience. Yeah. You make quick work of the vile creatures who stood in your way. You feel much stronger now. After a long trek, you make it to the castle's front gates. You are faced with an army of demons that all look very intimidating. There's no way to sneak past these monsters if you want to reach the Overlord. Yeah. You gather your courage. This is what must be done in order to rescue the maiden. These are all evil demons anyway. The world is much safer with them gone. If that's what you tell yourself while you kill one after another on your way to the Overlord's chambers. Jesus Christ. The Overlord appears, demanding to know what the hell you're doing murdering all her soldiers. You get straight to the point and ask her where the maiden is. She feigns ignorance, a convincing act, but you won't be fooled. The maiden isn't here, then what happened to her? You can see only one answer. The Overlord definitely captured her. In fact, it's possible she's already been devoured. Thinking about that poor maiden's fate fills you with hatred. You fight the Overlord with everything you've got. You've become strong from the hordes of demons you took down before this final battle. The Overlord is almost no match for you. You cut her to pieces. The Overlord has fallen. You breathe a sigh of relief, but your job is not yet finished. You search the castle. Unfortunately, you find no sign of the maiden within its walls. It's just as you suspected. She must have already been devoured. You feel hollow. A great evil has been banished from this world, but what does that matter if you were too weak to save someone? Stand alone amidst the carnage and ponder what it means to be a hero. You return to the Overlord's remains and wrap her head in your cape to bring back to the village. Surely your great victory will be celebrated. Jesus Christ. Yeah, okay. I got one bad end. Wait, does that show all the bad- Oh, okay. Oh! That's interesting. Okay. Try to reach the true endings. Display the timeline. Oh! Okay, let's go again. I like to think of yourself as okay. Okay, so... It's normal. Let's do this. And then ask if they'll let me in. You attempt to explain why you've come, but the monster before you is eyeing you with suspicion. They can't help but notice the demon blood from earlier you haven't had the chance to wash off yet. Whoops. Oh. You have no choice but to fight the army in self-defense. Oh well, more experience points for you. You make your way through the castle, fending off all the demons that stand in your way. The Overlord appears, demanding to know what the hell you're doing. And then... It's the same, like... Okay. And then if I have the underling, he can change that there. Okay. I'm gonna... Flee! Forgetting your pride, you escape with your life. But you can't return home now. Your reputation will be ruined. You wonder how you'll ever be able to rescue that maiden all on your own if you can't even fight some lousy demon underlings. You'll take your chances at the castle. You're a hero after all, this is your job. After a long trek, you make it to the castle's front gates. You are faced with an army of demons that all look very intimidating. There's no way to sneak past the monsters. Ask if they'll let me in. You go up to the nearest demon and explain why you've come here. They stare you down and you feel very uncomfortable. But they seem to trust you and escort you directly to the Overlord's chambers. That was easy. The Overlord is alone. You ask about the maiden, but the Overlord doesn't seem to know what you're talking about. Was she really never here? You wonder what could have happened to her. The Overlord says that she wishes she could help you, but you're the first human that's come here in forever, at least that she knows of. You think of how you probably shouldn't trust her, seeing as she's a demon and all, but you can't really prove she's lying either. You apologize for the intrusion and return home to your village. The maiden was never found. Oop. Useless hero end. That's depressing. So those are the only things I can do with just the hero. Okay, so now I have to start playing other people. Okay, let's play the maiden. You are a maiden. You live in a peaceful village next to a spooky demon overlord's castle. You were told that you were fated to be captured by the Overlord one day because you are a beautiful young girl. Demon overlords apparently love capturing those. You think of how you haven't heard of that actually happening to anyone, but maybe the demons just haven't been given the opportunity? Who knows? You are in church. You pray to your god, asking why you have been born into this role of maiden. You respect the divine plan and all, but you're really just curious as to what the point of it is. You are impatient. Meeting a demon actually sounds pretty gosh darn exciting. Maybe you'd understand your role better if you were to just hurry up and get captured already. You leave a note and venture forth to find a demon, just to, you know, see what happens. Not long into your little adventure, a demon underling appears before you. It looks pretty scary. He's cute! He's so cute! What do you mean? You tell the demon your name and explain that you're a maiden from the village. The demon suddenly jumps you and starts biting. A lot. How painful. Oh, I guess that's not cute. This plan of yours was completely stupid, you think. Why couldn't you have been more patient? Why did you go looking for trouble? You aren't angry or anything, of course. This was all your fault, for trusting a demon not to devour you on sight. This is your punishment for questioning fate, you guess. Bit by bit you are swallowed by the demon until you are no more. Consumed maiden and, well, I guess he wasn't cute. Okay. You are a maiden, you live in a peaceful village next to a spooky demon. Okay. Shout. You yell, but a hero does not come. The demon suddenly jumps you. Okay. I'd have to play the underling for that. Okay. Underling. He's cute. You are a demon underling, in service of the Overlord. You aren't particularly strong, but not particularly weak either. That's what your friends tell you. Your job is to guard the castle and keep humans away. It's unbearably boring. Heroes rarely come all the way here to challenge the Overlord anyway. It's a lot of standing in one place, staring into nothing. You feel like you're gonna go crazy if you don't get a break. You decide to ask the Overlord for a day off. She gives you an earful about responsibility and unquestioning obedience. You wait for her to finish her lecture before returning to your post. What does she know about anything? Who made her the boss of everyone? You complain about the Overlord to your friends. You agree that she is kind of a snob and totally deserves to be kicked off her throne. You only wanted to vent your frustrations, but the conversation somehow turned into an assassination plot. You should probably steer this in a responsible direction. Let's not. You tell your friends you're totally not serious about this whole thing. You're actually cool with the status quo. After all, life must be pretty dang good if the only thing you have to complain about is that you live so comfortably there's nothing to do. The others nod, but don't seem convinced. You say a coup d'etat would be more effort than it's worth. You're still gonna be a rebel and sneak out of the castle. Your friends praise your mischievous ways. The change of atmosphere excites you. You spend some time rolling around in the grass, wild and free. As you make your way along the path to the nearby human village, you encounter a maiden. She seems very frightened and screams for a hero to come save her. You consider your options. When the maiden realizes you're not going to hurt her, she regains her composure. Now she started talking to you like you're friends or something. You don't understand humans at all. You speak the same language, of course, which has always confused you, because why is there conveniently only one language in the world? If demons and humans have independent societies, wouldn't it make sense for them to each have their own language? The maiden is going on and on about some kind of destiny she's trying to fulfill. Bottom line, from what you gather, is that she wants you to take her to the Overlord. Sounds like it could be interesting. Besides, you have nothing better to do. This is so cute. Satisfied with your day out, you take the maiden back to the castle and present her to the Overlord. The Overlord asks where you found this maiden, knowing full well that you left the castle when you weren't supposed to. You apologize for disobeying her, but hope that the maiden is an interesting enough present that you may be forgiven. The Overlord nods and says everything's cool as long as you always listen to her from now on. You're impressed with what an easygoing boss she is. You mention how you can't believe you and your friends even considered overthrowing her. She gives you a look and you say, "That was just a joke, of course." She smiles and dismisses you. You decide it's about time for a nap. That's so cute. You don't get to sleep long. Your friends wake you up. Rude. One of them is stepping on you pretty hard. You ask them what their deal is. They say they're planning a whole revolution. They're gonna get rid of the current overlord and put a new ruler in place. They want to hear if you're in or out, and being a pretty lazy underling, you of course reply with, "That sounds like a lot of trouble. How about we just skip it instead?" Your friends question your loyalty to their cause. Oh, I die if I say that. I will die. I don't want to kill her though. But I don't want my man to die, but I want all the bad endings, but I don't want my man to die. This is unfortunate. Okay. You tell them you were just joking, clarify that you're totally in it to win it. They say you were always terrible with jokes. Whether or not you actually feel like killing the Overlord, you know how bad it'd be to end up on the wrong side of things, and if this assassination deal doesn't pan out, you can always pretend you were innocent all along. But beneath your shield of faux confidence, you worry about what you're getting yourself dragged into. You follow your friends outside the castle to talk more about the plan. You're curious if they have any idea how they want to go about this. They figured they'd just lock her in a room and set it on fire. What a stupid plan. That could go wrong in so many ways. You realize your friends are just a bunch of directionless thugs. Useless without someone's guidance. Your guidance. There'd probably be casualties if you fought her head on, and while showy deaths make a revolution a heck of a lot more fun, it's probably the wrong way to go. Your friends agree and suggest that you play the assassin. You really don't want it to come down to this. But you can't back down now. You'll have to be the one to assassinate the Overlord. Besides, no one has any better ideas. You and your friends turn to notice a pair of humans have overheard your entire conversation. They take off into the castle. Are they headed to the Overlord's room? Fuck. The Overlord will kill you for sure if she found out you were conspiring to take her out. You dash into the castle after the humans. Sure enough, the maiden's already frantically telling the Overlord everything. You shout that the humans are liars. Your friends soon arrive to back you up, except they don't. Instead, they blame the whole thing on you. They cry that it was all your idea and that they were just going with the flow, too scared to refuse your crazy plan. You can't believe they'd tell the Overlord such a blatant lie. You always knew better than to trust them. You're the one who didn't have a choice here. You all shout at each other until the Overlord demands silence. Regardless of who led this conspiracy, I have no choice but to punish everyone to keep you all in your place, crushed beneath my heel. She sounds tough, but lately all she does is sleep. You doubt her strength. You hear your traitorous friends mutter something about going back to Plan A, and suddenly the door slams shut. You're trapped in here with the Overlord and the 2 humans. And then the room bursts into flames. You pound on the door, screaming curses at those who betrayed you. The hero joins you, vowing to slay the lot of them. You wish he'd get that chance. The Overlord grabs you by the throat. You cry for mercy. You were forced into this mess. You're sure now that they would have killed you if you'd sided with her. The Overlord doesn't hear your pleas. She drives her claws into your chest. At least she made it quick. Jesus. Well, that's not very nice. Okay, that was a lot of things. Let's play the Overlord so we can unlock her things. You are the Overlord. You live in a castle surrounded by your demon servants. It's a pretty cushy life, you think. Except for those pesky humans who keep killing members of your army. There's even a role called Hero whose whole purpose in life is just to dethrone you. What's their deal anyway? You've actually avoided pissing off the humans in hopes to leave you and your army alone, but they never do. You're still new to the whole Overlord thing if you're being quite honest with yourself. You don't really understand the politics of it, but you remind yourself everyone is just doing their best to fulfill their roles. You won't let them bait you into being the evil Overlord they expect. You think you're pretty cool and mature to hold yourself to the higher standard like that. One of your underlings walks into your room, totally interrupting your thoughts about how awesome you are. They're saying something about how boring it is to stand in one place guarding the castle all the time, especially since no one ever comes here anyway. You see their point, but the way they're whining about it kind of bothers you. What to do with this underling? Give them the day off. You tell them to go take a break from this stifling castle atmosphere and refresh their dark soul. Day off should be fine every once in a while. They thank you and happily scurry off to do who knows what. You have nothing better to do today, so you decide to nap for a little while. Being the Overlord sure is great. You awake to a knock on your door. The underling from earlier brought back some company. The maiden from the nearby human village. She says her role is to be captured by you. The maiden then goes on to say that she's been getting very impatient thinking about her impending capture, so she's come here to speed things along. You appreciate her honesty, but regret to inform her you never had any plans to capture any humans. She seems very disappointed by this. Perhaps I'm not performing my role well enough? How can I become more maiden-like? You don't really understand the question. You think this world puts way too much focus on destiny and junk. You just go home and stop worrying about it, you tell her. The maiden seems to be having a hard time wrapping her head around this. She insists that she stay and talk to you more. You feel warm inside as she looks into your eyes. This is the first time a human has looked at you without contempt. You wonder what to say. You can stay. You can't bring yourself to send this maiden away. She just got here. You enjoy a nice long chat with her, sharing stories about your kind. She expresses her surprise that demons are not at all what she expected them to be. You're glad that she seems to have an open mind about these kinds of things. You also bring up how you always instruct your army to avoid humans, as not to agitate them and get heroes sent out after you. That explains why the people of my village have been left unharmed. It's because of your orders, isn't it? We are very grateful. I'm surprised to hear her thank you. I've always thought of humans to be violent and unreasonable. That's why your servants are always getting killed despite your efforts to leave them alone. But this maiden is different. You joke that maybe you've been lying to her this whole time and that you're actually super evil all along. The maiden laughs at that, saying she wouldn't mind being held captive here. People in her village are a little exhausting at times, she says. You can't tell if she's into you or not. We have the gay overlord and the equally gay maiden. You're interrupted by another human in your doorway. This time it's a hero. Why does he look like this? Is he okay? Is he okay? He was apparently searching for the maiden, who is rumored to have been captured by your kind. Captured? Not at all! I only wanted to meet with the overlord. Didn't anyone read the note I left behind? After everything is explained, the hero expresses his relief that the whole misunderstanding hadn't led to any horrible consequences. The maiden apologizes for causing trouble, and the hero asks her to return to the village with him. Confusing feelings well up inside your heart. You're surprised that you had one of those to begin with. You don't want the hero to take this maiden away from you. Oh, I could get her killed. Oh, do I do it though? I have to do it eventually, but I'll do it later. You're certain that she'll return to spend more time with you. You just have to trust in that, you decide. With the hero and maiden gone, you plop down into the comfort of your luxurious overlord bed. Your room feels so empty now. Is this loneliness? You hope your new friend will be back soon. You close your eyes for a while, till your door slams shut. Before you know it, everything around you is being engulfed by flames. What's going on? You try to escape, but something's blocking the door. You're having trouble forcing it open. What is this? Someone didn't want you getting out. Are you being usurped? They have zero foresight. What castle will they rule if this one burns? You don't want to believe that your underlings have betrayed you, but this is no accident. Those ungrateful bastards. You choke on the thick black smoke from the fire. You can't believe you're being done in by a bunch of cowards. You'll see them in hell. Oof. That's sad. Let's go back to the hero. Overlord behavior antisocial. What happens if we do that? Then we have two more options. Okay. We'll go this route. You are the hero. Flee! The Overlord and Maiden seem to be in the middle of some casual conversation when you barge in. You all look at each other in surprise and confusion. This is no time to hesitate. Ask her what's going on. The Maiden explains that she was never actually captured, and that she came here on her own volition. That was a pretty dangerous thing of her to do, but no one got hurt, so at least there's that. You ask her to return to town with you to reassure everyone of her safety. The Overlord allows the two of you to leave, and you casually exit the castle. You try to make conversation with the maiden, but she's been pretty quiet since leaving the Overlord's room. Is she shy? She suddenly stops in her tracks, and you turn your head to ask what the deal is. Oh, the Overlord's castle is engulfed in flames. You can't help but feel relieved you got the maiden out of there when you did, but... She suddenly takes off toward the burning castle. Panic sets in, and you follow to try to stop her. The smoke is so thick you've already lost sight of her. What is she thinking? It's too dangerous to continue. You feel hopeless. You stand alone at the castle gates. Your body won't allow you to take another step forward. No, going in there would be suicide. You'll return to the villagers and tell them there was nothing you could do. You were too late. The maiden was claimed by the demons. Oof. Bystander hero and B. And if I slay them, will they not be able to kill the Overlord? Maybe? That doesn't look correct, though. But let me try to slay them, and then maybe they won't be able to kill her. You find the maiden being held captive by the Overlord, just as you suspected. But for some reason, you can't sense anything sinister happening? You all look at each other in surprise and confusion. This is no time to hesitate. Ask her. She explains that she came here on her own and was never in any danger. She hesitantly asks why you're covered in blood. You don't know how to respond. The Overlord moves past you and out the door to see her army in lifeless, bloody piles. She's wailing. It's horrible. This is your chance, hero. You hope she'll let this whole thing slide if you could just explain yourself. You really try, but the Overlord is inconsolable. She tears you apart and the maiden watches in silence. As you die, you can't help but think you probably deserved this. Jesus Cristo. Okay. The hero finds the maiden, the Overlord is upset. The hero apologizes. I have to slay the Overlord. Here. So I have to be dutiful and then heroic. Okay. Dutiful. Beautiful. Destroy her. You lunge forward and driving your blade through the evil overlord. She screams and falls silent. The overlord has been slain. You smile, offering the maiden your Jesus Christ. She takes it after slight hesitation. She must be surprised at how strong you are. You escort the maiden home. She's oddly quiet on the trek back to the village. She must be too shy to speak. The villagers are very pleased with what a good job you've done, slaying the overlord and saving a hostage. They throw a huge celebration in your name. You're remembered for generations as the greatest hero the village has ever seen. Okay, but that's not really a good ending, though. Yeah. Okay, there's a maiden one there. Everything is fine. Underling behavior disloyal. Oh, diplomatic. Underling behavior disloyal. Okay, be disloyal. You don't have to be antisocial, I don't think. Okay. We ask if they'll let me in. Ask what's going on. You pause when you see a group of suspicious demons standing near the entrance. They're talking about assassinating the Overlord. This proves to you that demons really are foul creatures. You have to tell her about this. You don't understand what the maiden is thinking. The world is better off with less demons. They're all gold, ruthless creatures that should be destroyed. And those same creatures have just noticed you eavesdropping. The maiden takes off into the castle and you have no choice but to follow. You burst into the Overlord's room. The maiden frantically tries to communicate what you just overheard. A demon underling barges in next, calling you liars. It's followed by the group from the entrance who shifts the blame back onto the little one. These demons only care about themselves, how low can they be? You begin shouting at them and the whole room dissolves into noise until the Overlord yells for everyone to shut their traps. She threatens them with violence. This overlord is no better than her subjects. You grip your sword tightly. If you have to cut through everyone here to get this maiden to safety, you certainly will. The group of demons hiss to each other before shutting the door, leaving the runt of the litter behind. You glance around for another exit, but there isn't one. You have a terrible feeling about this. In an instant, the whole room is in flames. What kind of demonic magic is this? The underling pounds on the door, upset that it's been betrayed. You join it, vowing to slay the cowardly demons on the other side. The next moment, the overlord has taken hold of the underling. It's crying for mercy. She thrusts her claws into her underling's chest, and it lets out a horrible scream. You back away. You won't be the next target of her rage. She continues to dig and twist her claws into its limp body. You can no longer watch. You look to the maiden. She's crying, hands clasped together in prayer. To have faith in a time like this, you envy her. The two of you, the Overlord, and the underling's corpse are all consumed by flames. Oof. Oh god, there's so many paths. This is so hard to keep track of. Let's just not make her- okay, not make her antisocial. And he's not gonna be hungry. Okay. Oh, did I set the right thing? Uh-oh. Well, I don't know if the guy's on the right one. He might kill everyone. Introduce! You tell the demon your name and explain that you're a maiden from the village. You tell them that you were thinking maybe you could understand your role better if you were to hurry up and get taken away by a demon already. The demon doesn't seem to have really been listening to you, which is a little irritating. They agree to take you to their master nonetheless. After a long walk to the castle, you are introduced to the Overlord. Explain why you've come and she squints at you. It turns out she never had any plans to capture maidens or to do anything else that would agitate the humans. You wonder for a moment if she might be lying, but it doesn't really seem like it. Still, this doesn't make any sense to you. You've always been told that demons would one day seek you out and something awful would happen. Then a hero would come to your rescue. You don't want to believe you've been lied to all along. Maybe it's just that you haven't been maiden-like enough. You ask the Overlord what you should do to be a more suitable maiden, but she doesn't seem to understand. Just go home and stop worrying about destiny so much. She makes it sound so simple. This Overlord seems like the complete opposite of you. You want to learn more about her and how she thinks. You insist on staying to talk with her more. The Overlord shares many stories about demons with you, and little by little you realize they might not be the ruthless monsters you were raised to believe. As it turns out, she commanded her demons to avoid towns and villages. She didn't want to risk giving the humans any excuse to send a hero out after them. You realize that must be why you've never heard of any demons attacking your town. Express your gratitude to the Overlord on behalf of your village. She says you can thank her by telling the humans to stop raising heroes. She's tired of her servants getting killed off by them. You've always thought that demons were violent and unreasonable creatures, but it seems the Overlord could say the same of humans. You may be different, but really they're just trying to live their lives the same as you. You feel like you're starting to understand things a lot better. But maybe everything I said was to deceive you and the other humans. What would you do if I turned out to be super evil all along? Even if she were to capture you now, you think this place is far more interesting than the way things are back home. Kind of like not being told to expect demons to come after you all the time. You feel free. Honestly, you've always kept to yourself, but spending time with this Overlord has been very nice. You feel butterflies in your stomach. As you think that, a hero enters the room, looking as blank as ever. You're surprised to see him at first until you realize he must have been sent to retrieve you. Confused, the hero asks you what's going on. Explain the situation, reassuring him that you were never in any danger. The hero expresses his relief that this whole misunderstanding hadn't led to any horrible consequences. You apologize for causing trouble, but really, didn't anyone read the note you left? Jeez. The hero asks if you'll return to the village with him to give everyone the news of your safety. The Overlord allows the two of you to leave, and you give her a little wave as you exit the room. You'll be back soon. Near the castle's entrance, you spy a group of suspicious demons congregating. They're talking about assassinating the Overlord. You have to warn her, but the hero shakes his head. He says that if this is the true nature of demons, the world is better off with less of them. This isn't right, you think. What kind of hero passes up the chance to save a life? The demons have taken notice of you. It's now or never. You take off into the castle, and the unreliable hero follows shortly after. You burst into the Overlord's room, all your words spilling out at once. You should probably slow down, but there's no time. The Overlord seems to have followed your frantic explanation, but clearly doesn't understand the urgency of the situation. The underling you recognized from before barges in, calling you a liar. You're surprised they were part of this evil plot. They seemed so nice. The other demons came in right after them, saying the whole thing was the first underling's idea. Everyone's shouting at each other now. It's really stressing you out. You're relieved when the Overlord demands silence. She threatens them with violence, and you think she is very Overlord-like in this moment. A group of demons hiss to each other before shutting the door, leaving the little one behind. You watch as it pounds on the door in distress. Have they locked you all in? You have a bad feeling about this, and thinking that must have jinxed it because now the room is engulfed in flames. If only you had ignored those demons before, you and the hero wouldn't have stumbled into this situation. You had just pretended not to hear them. If you left as you were told, only the Overlord would have been killed. But you couldn't have done that. The path isn't an option for you. You think that no matter what, you'll always strive for the path where everyone survives. It must exist, it simply must. The Overlord seizes her underling, they beg for their life. You pray, you don't know what else to do, so you just pray. The Overlord's claws pierce the underling's chest, they scream an awful scream. She digs and twists her claws into the poor thing while you continue to pray. There's no saving any of you now. You, the Overlord, the hero, and the underling's corpse are consumed by flames. There's a lot of... Dang. Ugh. Let's play the underling, because I kinda... Overlord behavior, tyrant. Diplomatic, possessive. Okay, I have to be... Okay. He has to grant me the day off. Maiden is polite. I bring her to the castle. I have to be disloyal. And then there's a ton of other options. But if I do diplomatic, possessive, and I... Diplomatic, possessive, and I'm disloyal, then maybe I'll get something else. She's surprisingly cool with it. Nice! Set out on your adventure outside the castle. She greets you and says she has a favor to ask you. Consider your options. Hear her out. You're in a good mood today, and are rather curious about what the maiden has to say. Humans don't usually talk to you, so this is kind of exciting. You hadn't guessed it would even be possible to understand each other before now. The maiden is going on and on about some kind of destiny she's trying to fulfill. The bottom line from what you gather is that she wants you to take her to the Overlord. Sounds like it could be interesting. Besides, you have nothing better to do. They seem to be getting along just fine, so you decide it's about time for a nap. And then I have to be disloyal. Okay. You don't get to sleep too long, your friends wake you up. Tell them you're just joking. Sneak up to the Overlord's room, but there's a couple of humans in there. You watch the scene unfold. You aren't sure why, but the Overlord suddenly cuts down the hero. She approaches the maiden you brought to her earlier. With the Overlord distracted, you figure this is as good a chance as any. You launch a sneak attack, getting her right on the back. She flinches, giving you enough advantage to take her down. You rip the Overlord apart until she stops moving. That was messier than you would have liked. The maiden mutters something from the corner. Thank you for saving me. It wasn't your intention, but it sounds like you did something heroic. You tell the maiden to go home. This place is dangerous. She follows your advice and leaves the castle. Your castle. You are the new Overlord. Oh my god. Okay, so that was that. So there's that one. Antisocial now instead of... I don't know what all these ones are, but I'll figure it out. So, antisocial. But I still have to be disloyal. Okay. Hear her out. Okay. Oh. I think that was the I was killed in the fire, I think. Don't give up, surely there's a good ending somewhere. Yeah. You would think. Tyrant, hungry, dutiful will give me something. Okay, I have to be the tyrant though. He's hungry, he's dutiful. Okay. Tell them to get back. You give them a lecture about responsibility and unquestioning obedience. Your servants ought to do what they're told whether they like it or not. They look really unhappy with you, but you're sure they'll thank you for this later. Venturing too far from the castle tends to spell death. You dismiss the underling and lie down in your nice and comfy Overlord bed. All that lecturing made you want to take a nap. You fall asleep pretty quickly, just another one of your amazing talents as the Overlord. You wake to a huge commotion outside. The hero has shown up and started totally murdering your soldiers. What the hell, guy? You rush out into the battlefield to confront this jerkwad. You curse at him and very rudely inquire his reason for doing all this. The hero yells at you, demanding you return the maiden you're holding captive. You don't know what he's talking about, but you can't forgive his actions. You do battle with the hero, but he has grown strong from cutting down your army. You are unable to defeat him. With decisive swings, he stabs and cuts you to pieces. You fall. You have failed your subjects. You spit curses weakly. You wish you'd been stronger. Maybe you were never suited to be the Overlord in the first place. The truth was, you were never that much more powerful than the demons who served you. It was the title, the control that gave you strength. These are your thoughts as you were swallowed by darkness. Jesus. Okay, that's another one. There's still stuff for the maiden? Oh, antisocial. Maybe she goes home? But I don't know what this other one is for the underling. I don't think it really matters what the guy does. He can't kill people. Okay, he's not allowed to kill people. Okay. I'll give him the day off. Tell her she'd better go home. You'd love to have all the conversations in the world with your new friend, but having a human girl here will definitely cause trouble. You put on your mean face and tell her to get lost, but the maiden turns out to be very stubborn. You don't want to hurt her, but you also really want her to leave in case something bad happens. This whole situation is just asking for trouble, you think. Against your better judgment, you let her hang out for a little while longer. You enjoy a nice long chat with her, sharing stories about your kind. She expresses her surprise that demons are not at all what she expected them to be. You are glad that she seems to have an open mind about these kinds of things. You also bring up how you always instruct your army to avoid humans, as not to agitate them and get heroes sent out after you. That explains why the people of my village have been left unharmed. My village, because of your orders, isn't it? You're surprised to hear her thank you. You've always thought of humans to be violent and unreasonable. That's why your servants are always getting killed, despite your efforts to leave them alone. But this maiden is different. You joke that maybe you've been lying to her this whole time and that you were actually super evil all along. The maiden laughs at that, saying she wouldn't mind being held captive here. Can't tell if she's into you. You're interrupted by another human in your doorway. This time it's a hero. He was apparently searching for the maiden who is rumored to have been captured by your kind. Captured? Not at all. Didn't anyone read the note I left behind? After everything's explained, the hero expresses his relief that this whole misunderstanding hadn't led to any horrible consequences. Maiden apologizes. Confusing feelings well up inside your heart. You don't want the hero to take this maiden away. Let's keep her. The maiden came here to be captured by you, didn't she? You'll grant her wish. Tell the hero you won't let him take her home. The maiden assures you she'll be back, but you don't budge. The hero is cautious now. If you won't let her go, maybe you demons are evil after all, and if you are, I'll be forced to vanquish you. You have no choice, you destroy the hero before he can steal your maiden away. She's frightened. You don't understand why. Didn't she say she prefers this place to her village? Now she doesn't have to leave. Take a step toward the maiden and she backs herself into a corner. You don't understand. She wanted to stay here with you. The hero was trying to get in the way of that. You had to kill him. You'll be sure to keep this maiden very safe from now on. Oh, I didn't get the one I wanted though. That wasn't what I wanted, was it? No, that wasn't it. There's one here that I don't have unlocked on this line between these two. Disloyal, I think I can... Okay, I'll do diplomatic and they can go. Diplomatic and they can go. I'll do disloyal too. There we go. Give him the day off, it doesn't matter. Let her stay. Bring yourself to send this maiden away. She just got here. You enjoy a nice long chat with her, sharing stories about your kind. Can I skip this? Let them go. Certain that she'll return to spend more time with you, you just have to trust in that. With the hero and maiden gone, you plop down into the comfort. Your room feels so empty. You hope your new friend will be back soon. You close your eyes. You've almost fallen asleep when the maiden and hero burst into your room, frantically trying to communicate something to you. You're told that a group of demons is plotting to assassinate you. You're not surprised. How nice of the humans to care, though. One of your underlings barges in next, shouting that the humans are liars. They're followed by another group of demons, crying that everything was the first underling's plan. Everyone is shouting over each other now, and it's very annoying. You yell for all of them to shut their traps. You have no doubt that your servants would let their ambition cloud their judgment and lead them to try to take your throne. Regardless of who led this conspiracy, I have no choice but to punish everyone to keep you all in your place, crushed beneath my heel. Saying that made you feel very overlord-like. You aren't sure if you have the strength to back it up, though. Lately all you do is sleep. A group of demons start muttering something about going back to Plan A and suddenly slam your door shut. You, the maiden, the hero, and one of your underlings are trapped inside. In an instant, the whole room is in flames. The underling pounds on the door, cursing at their friends for betraying them. The hero pounds on the door as well, vowing to slay the cowardly demons on the other side. So this is how you'll die, burned alive in your own room by those you thought you could trust. You should have expected this from a bunch of idiot demons, though. You notice the maiden crying. Why does she have to die over something that has nothing to do with her? Perhaps she was cursed from the moment she spoke to you. You wonder if you're cursed as well. You're so filled with anger and frustration, you don't even notice that you've grabbed the underling those traitors blamed everything on. They cry for mercy, saying that they were dragged into this plot knowing they'd be killed if they took your side. They cry that they didn't want to have to kill you. You almost feel sorry for them. Forgive them. You release the underling. Killing them wouldn't make you feel any better. Besides, they've already gotten their punishment. You'll all burn together. Oh my god. Overlord's true end. Okay. Before you're taken back to reset the story once again, you pause for a moment. True end, you say to yourself. What was the point of all my effort if the true ending is this terrible? You must have forgotten where you were. Oh my god, I hate you! This is bad end theater. Is the pain setting in? Oh, but you should have been well aware of what you'd been shown when you entered this place. It's a problem I've seen quite often. At some point, you grew attached to my little cast. You started to relate to their flaws, their plights. You started wishing for their happiness. But you aren't going to find that here in my theater, my lovingly crafted labyrinth of suffering. Anyway, I hope you'll pardon the interruption. You're making great progress. The choice to continue on the next ending is always yours. I'll leave you to it, dear guest. I hate him. Okay. So we got the true end. But she died. The Overlord spares. That's the first step because that's the only way to keep the underling from dying. I don't know if it matters if she's antisocial. Maybe? I'll try it. Okay. Okay, let's do it so that I don't die. To your surprise, the Overlord spares you. Maybe she'd rather see you suffer instead. Looking around, you've just gone from one dead end to another. The maiden is crying, the hero is silent. You'll all burn together. Underling's true end. No matter the perspective, the true ending remains the same. That's what makes it true. You couldn't resist seeing it for yourself though, could you? Wonder what will happen when you collect them all. Will you give in to despair, or... Despair? Who said despair? She has to be merciful every time. Okay. Antisocial, mainstays, diplomatic, disloyal. Okay, so it's always the same. It's always the same. Introduce myself. The Overlord tells you again that you should get lost. How rude, you just got here. Oh, I can obey her or refuse to leave. Oh. Refuse to leave. Put your foot down and tell her you're not going anywhere. You still want to fulfill your destiny, even if you have to make it happen on your own. She's a little frustrated at your stubbornness, but doesn't kick you out or anything. Hooray! Okay, and they share stories. The Overlord spares the underling. You feel relieved, but does it make any difference? Will you all burn together? It really is the same. It can't be the same every time. That's so rude. You want to answer the maiden's prayers. You decided to find a way to save everyone. But retracing the paths you've seen so far, there doesn't seem to be any room to avoid a bad ending. Is there really nothing you can do to keep them all from getting killed in the end? There's nothing you can do by acting from within their story. Maybe it's time to take things into your own hands. Oh? This is terrifying. Everyone's on fire. You boldly insert yourself into the story and use your incredible power to warp everyone to safety. You didn't know you could do that, but what's going on here? You take a moment to get a good look at yourself. You are you, but why are you pitch black? You feel that this body doesn't accurately represent you, but you move past it. The hero, maiden, and underling, and overlord have been staring at you too. They look like they don't really know what they're supposed to do right now. You guess that's because you're usually the one guiding them. What will you say to them? Smile awkwardly and introduce yourself. The maiden is the first to respond. My prayers have been answered. You must be... For God? No, you're merely the player. If there was any god here, they'd be the final boss. That's just how these role-playing games go. Now you realize what the real true ending must be. Now. Enough of this. I admit I've been encouraging you all along, but a self-insert story? How passé. You watch helplessly as tragedy descends from the heavens. You didn't honestly believe you were the only one who could force your way onto the stage, did you? I am the narrator, storyteller, god of this world. Call me Tragedy, if you'd like. Darkness envelops your party. You don't mind if I send each of them back to relive one of their many bad endings, right? You're all alone in the darkness with me, Tragedy. I sincerely hope you've been enjoying your time in my theater, though I can't abide you stealing the show without permission. It's quite disrespectful. And frankly, you should never have come to a place called Bad End Theater. Haven't we already been over this? You think defeating me might just be the only way to see a better ending. All that's left for you, isn't it? Well, this does sound like it could be entertaining. Show me what you've got. Time to fight God. Stage is set for your final battle against me, the god of this world. What will you do? How will you fight against tragedy itself? I'd love to see it. Try closing off your heart to protect yourself, but it doesn't make you feel any better. Oh, is that all? You'll never defeat me like that. Try your best to tear me down, but you can't seem to do any damage. You don't truly exist in this world after all. Perhaps you don't understand just how outclassed you are here. Behold my beautifully tragic tales. Doesn't seeing them all again make your heart ache? You've witnessed 16 of my painstakingly crafted endings. Your heart does indeed ache for these characters. How could you want to put an end to all this? Do you truly care for them that much? They're still suffering backstage, you know. It's a shame they couldn't make it here, to the end of the world. That's right, you came here to save them. You can't do this alone. Oh my god. Summon him. Find the hero in his home, hunched over his sewing table. Your sudden intrusion scares the hell out of the poor guy. Are you some kind of demon? Explain that no, you're not a demon. How can you explain it in a way the hero can understand? Instead you ask what he's sewing. Oh, this? I craft all my own hero gear. Oh, that's so cute. You sense his pride in his hobby. You wonder if the costumes are what attracted him to the role of hero. Would you like some clothes? You don't seem to be wearing any. You remember the state of your body and decide that yes, some clothes from the hero would be nice. He's overjoyed by your answer. Apparently his outfits are too gaudy for the other townsfolk, so no one else wants them. The true end for the hero suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change his fate. I can make a living as a tailor rather than a hero? Please tell me what I can do to reach that dream. The hero will now fight alongside you. I agreed to follow you, but I didn't expect to face something like this. The hero has arrived. We really couldn't have a final boss battle without him. You're the one who's been killing us, murderer. I can't truly call myself a hero until I see you defeated. We'll see about that. Tragedy attacks with a terrible fate. Your reign of terror ends here, Tragedy. I refuse to give in. The hero uses his willpower to overcome tragedy. Tragedy is reeling. You happen to find the maiden as she exits the church, her heart set on meeting a demon. Perfect timing, she approaches you, having already taken notice of your odd form. Excuse me, are you a traveler? I've never seen anyone like you before. You explain that no, you're not a traveler. Well, maybe you are in a sense. You've come all this way. The maiden regards you with excited curiosity. Then perhaps you might be a demon? I was hoping I would meet one today. You think of all the terrible fates that hope would bring about. She's the catalyst of this story, after all. My role as a maiden is to be captured by the Overlord, but you see, I've grown so tired of waiting. You remember this part. She wanted to understand her role better, and so, you ask what it is that she's really hoping to gain from this. The maiden is confused by your question. Perhaps it was as simple as wanting to reach the place she felt like she belonged. The true end for this maiden suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change her fate. If there's something I can do to find fulfillment, then please guide me. The maiden will now fight alongside you. This is so cute. What is this horrible creature? You wound me, dear maiden. Is tragedy really such a terrible thing to behold? Remember now, I remember all the awful things you put us through. Then this should be familiar to you as well. Tragedy attacks with a terrible fate. Our true endings do exist, they simply must. The maiden hopes with all her heart to overcome tragedy. Tragedy is reeling. Let's summon everyone. You approach the gates of the Overlord's castle. The underling is on guard duty as you expected. Call out to you, the other demon guard is sound asleep. Hey, you're a pretty weird looking intruder. What do you want? You explain that no, you're not an intruder, although you're definitely intruding into their story right now. Tell the underling you've come to save them from tragedy. Okay, try saving me from boredom first. I hate this job. The underling snickers. You ask what kind of job they'd rather have. It'd be best if I didn't have to work at all. I just want to live a carefree life and never get bossed around or picked on. You think of the underling's friends who had bullied them into an assassination plot, only to betray them in the end. If they kept better company, maybe they wouldn't feel so restless. The true end for the underling suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change their fate. So there's a way that even work can be fun? Sounds fake, but I'll tag along with you just in case. The underling will now fight alongside you. Dude, what the fuck? You didn't say anything about a boss battle? The underling, you must be desperate to call in such an unreliable ally. Huh, if I beat this guy up, all my problems will be over. Oh, but it won't be that easy. Tragedy attacks with a terrible fate. You enter the Overlord's room, relieved to see the fires contained to the torches on the walls. You close the door behind you, the Overlord rises from her slumber. Who are you? Have you come to reside in my castle and serve me? Explain that no, you're not here to serve her, it's more like you've come to do her a favor. You ask why she spends all day sleeping instead of commanding her demon army. She laughs in response. Many of my underlings certainly think I should be more aggressive with the humans, like my father before me. His quest for revenge was endless and self-perpetuating. There's a reason I had to destroy him. Oh, jeez. You can't help but think it's a little late in the game to be getting some new backstory. I have no interest in waging war on the humans, I merely wish to be left alone to live a peaceful, indulgent life in my castle. You realize she must actually be very lonely, only surrounded by soldiers instead of friends. No wonder she gets so attached to the maiden. The true end for the Overlord suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change her fate. My own attempts at peace have been rather imperfect. If you offer a solution, then very well. I will follow you. The Overlord will now fight alongside you. I see, so this is tragedy. Ah, you brought the Overlord. I don't stand a chance now. You've prevented me from attaining peace for long enough. Prepare to die. I hope you're prepared to face your deaths as well. Tragedy attacks with a terrible fate. Now that the whole party's here, can you solve my final puzzle? Which combination of behaviors will open the path to your true ending? Oh god. I'll reach my true ending with my own power. The Overlord uses her ambitious nature to overcome tragedy. The hero tries using his belief in justice. But justice applies to you, does it not? Oh, okay. Oof. Not quite sure the definition of tenacity, honestly. Knock me down and I'll just come back stronger. Uses their tenacity. This is it. With everyone's hearts united, you take aim towards your best possible futures. You all unleash one final attack to destroy tragedy once and for all. Oh my god. What? Hahaha, you've done it! You've managed to defeat me! A tragic ending for tragedy itself? I love it. I must thank you all for fulfilling your roles perfectly. Thank you, Hero. Starring Hero as himself. Thank you, Maiden. Thank you, Underling. Thank you, Overlord. Enough of this nonsense. We defeated you, so die already. Don't worry. I'll be making my exit shortly. Finally, thank you most of all. We couldn't have made it here without you. Yes, my bad end theater did contain a truly good ending after all. I apologize for antagonizing you for so long. I wanted to deliver a satisfying story. Was I able to do it, I wonder? Yeah? Thank you. I really appreciate that. Happy endings shouldn't always come easily. Reality is not so kind. But you've earned this one. Here's your true ending. I love that. Oh, he's making clothes! This is so cute! Oh? What Vocaloid is this? This is Vocaloid, isn't it? I love that. I thought it would take a bit longer, honestly. But that's really... that's cute. Exit the theater. I don't wanna. I guess I had to. Okay. Okay. That was cute. That was cute. I liked that. Well, now I can go back on my own and get literally every single achievement. Because... that's... I'll probably do that on my own though, because I don't wanna sit... make everyone sit through all of that over and over and over and over and over again. Alright, I guess... Give me a second and I'll find something else to play.